Improvise Improv 101. This video is about learning how to improvise over the chord changes to Cantaloupe Island. The first part was a demonstration of what you can reasonably expect to be able to do by the end. Okay, so the first place to start is by outlining the form. I'm going to give you another demonstration of how to do that, and then I'll talk about that afterwards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Before I go into detail about what I did, what I played over the chord changes with the backing track, I want to tell you what the form is. So it is a 16 measure form, but it has a 4 measure introduction. The form, excluding the introduction, which is 4 measures, the form is divided into 4 measure phrases. So what I did, I counted during the introduction, the first 4 measures. I just counted. I played on beat 1 of the first phrase. I played on beats 1 and 2 of the second phrase, beats 1, 2, and 3 of the third phrase, and the last phrase I played on beats 1 and 3. That outlines the form. I did that 2 times, so I played 2 choruses. In other words, I went through the form twice, and I ended on beat 1 of the third chorus. The notes I used are, so I didn't use anything during the introduction. I played the first phrase I used an F. The second phrase I used a D flat. The third phrase I used a D, and the last phrase again I used an F. The reason I did that is because the first phrase uses an F minor 7 chord. The root is F, so I just use an F. The second phrase is a D flat, so I used a D flat. The second phrase is a D flat 7 chord. That's what you use. The root is D flat. I used a D flat. The third phrase is a D minor 7, essentially. The root is a D. I used a D. And the last phrase, the fourth phrase of the form, again, is an F minor 7, and I used an F. So to practice this, you can do the same thing. First phrase, first 4 measure phrase, use an F. Second phrase, use a D flat. Third phrase, use a D. Last phrase, use an F. Okay, now that you've practiced the form, the next step is to have more note choices. So what I'll do, I'll give you a demonstration on how to do that and describe it afterwards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Demo. I used the same rhythm as before, but I was using more notes. As far as rhythm goes, what I did, I counted the introduction, the 4 bars of the introduction. Then, on the first phrase of the form, I played on beat 1. Second phrase, beats 1 and 2. Third phrase, I played on beats 1, 2, and 3. And the fourth phrase, I played on beats 1 and 3. For my note choices, I was using notes of pentatonics. And how I did it was I took, for the first chorus, I used the first 2 notes of the pentatonic. Then the first 3 notes, then the first 4 notes, and then all of the notes of the pentatonic. So more specifically, what pentatonics I used. For the first phrase, I used an F minor pentatonic. The second phrase, I used a D flat dominant pentatonic. For the third phrase, I used a D minor pentatonic. And for the fourth phrase, I used an F minor pentatonic. If you're unfamiliar with pentatonics, I'll tell you what they are. These pentatonics are the one I use. F minor is F, A flat, B flat, C, and E flat. D flat dominant, D flat, E flat, F, A flat, and B. D flat, E flat, F, A flat, B. The third one I used, D minor, D, F, G, A, and C. So, if you're unfamiliar with those, that's the first step, is to learn those pentatonics. When you practice this, so you're going to be using the same rhythm as before. you're just going to make note choices from the pentatonics. If you're comfortable with the pentatonics, you can use all of the notes. If not, do what I did, use the first two notes of each pentatonic. Do that until you're comfortable with that. Then go on and use 3 notes. Do that until you're comfortable with that. And then 4 notes, and then all of the notes. Mix the order. Mix the order that you use. That you use the notes. So for F minor, start on F for your first chorus. Then start on E, then A flat for the second chorus when you practice. So mixing the order makes it improvisation. And you want to be able to practice. You want to be able to play the pentatonics, use them instinctively. So practice to that point. So practice as much as you have to, so it's instinctive. So in that way, you'll be able to make your note choices easily. Okay, then when you can do that easily, the next step is simple improvisation. You can do that by playing on the beat. You've been practicing the form by playing on the beat, specific beats. But now you can choose what beat to play on. B1, B2, B3, B4. And before I was using quarter notes, but you can sustain your notes too. And in the next section I'll do that. I'll be playing on the beat, but I'll be sustaining my notes. So that'll be the next section. So use that as an example, and then practice playing simple improvisations, playing on the beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. That gives you an idea of what you can do playing on the beat using pentatonics. So your note choices are pentatonics, and then you are choosing quarter notes, playing on the beat, not necessarily quarter notes. You're playing on the beat. So that that gives you basic introduction to improvising. So practice those things, practice the form with one note, and then practice the form using pentatonics, and then practice improvising, playing on the beat, and that will get you ready for the next part of learning how to improvise, the next step. So using more rhythm. So anyway, that's it for now.